8 more 9 seconds. Holy 2, 1. Happy New Year, y'all. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Nilanda, and today I'm talking all about how I plan and reset for 2026. It might be a little oversaturated and played out, but I freaking love this. I love the feeling of reflecting, journaling, goal setting, creating systems, planning, and ultimately working towards being a better version of myself, as well as living the kind of life that I've always dreamed of. Before I get ahead of myself planning for 2026, I think it's really important that I look back and reflect on 2025's goals. So I use Notion kind of as my day-to-day planner and stuff. I have a whole YouTube video about this setup as well. So I feel like the main four levels of goals that I have, or four categories, is always it's personal, creative, finance, and health. That's kind of my main thing. I figured I would go through those four categories and just kind of look at the goals that I had written for those categories at the beginning of the year and kind of just see where we're at. I'm sure some of them will be achieved, some of them will not be, but we'll go through it. I have advanced in language learning, Korean and Japanese, finished both courses on Duolingo. I will openly admit I did not finish both courses on Duolingo. Do I feel like I've advanced in learning Korean and Japanese? This year, definitely yes, for Japanese for sure. Because I really knew nothing last year, and this year I've obviously made some progress with that. I think with my Korean learning, I'm doing okay. I haven't made big strides, maybe just baby steps. So then I wrote learn music, vocal, guitar, piano, which is all the things I want to learn all the time. I will say I've had phases where I have tried to learn piano and learn guitar and to practice singing more. I would like to be more proactive with it. My third personal goal was to spend some extended time overseas. Obviously, I did my big trip, but basically that is definitely going to continue into 2026. I think that by the middle of 2026, I will be spending the year in Japan. That is the big plan for 2026. I think I need to be more open about it too, because I think that what worries me is a lot of the financial aspects of it. My creative goals this past year were to make streaming a priority and make Twitch partner. Granted, did I ever really think I'd make Twitch partner? Not necessarily. That's fine. It's still on the list of things to do. But I really do think that I did make streaming a pretty big priority for myself. I mean, granted, there are definitely times where I've felt like I didn't stream enough. Definitely did it a lot more than I did the previous year. Post consistently on YouTube and get monetized. Okay, that one didn't quite happen. Definitely didn't get monetized yet. But I also, I didn't post as consistently as I wanted. And then the other creative goal I had was to sew more, go through my bag of things I need to fix, which I did do that. I actually made a video about it. Make garments and maybe a new cosplay. I don't think I did any of that stuff, but I did at one point work on some of the things I have been meaning to work on. So the finance goals were to pay off my credit card debt, or at least up to only having $2,500 left, which I did, by the way, officially paid off today. I'm starting 2026 off with 0 credit card debt. I'm really hoping that I can be someone who just uses their credit card and pays it off every single month going forward. And hopefully I'll be able to collect some miles to hopefully get a free flight every once in a while, Meet my saving goals for BTS Korea and Japan. I did, because I made it all happen. That's why I had that retail job, was so I can fund my Korea Japan trip and seeing BTS or J-Hope, whatever, going to the concerts in Korea. And then $3,000 in my Roth IRA by end of year, maybe $3,500. I did get the $3,000, and that happened because I was able to make my automatic payments. And then the last one's my health. I flopped, real flop. Go to the gym or work out 3 times a week. Definitely didn't happen. I feel like I've gained a lot of weight the past couple of months too, to be honest. So I'm trying to go hard in January, because that's when everyone's motivation is super high. To touch my toes or do the dance or yoga pose? Absolutely not. I am not flexible at all. That's been something that's been on my list, to be able to do that type of pose for years. And touch my toes has been something for years too, but I'm just not that flexible, and I've had a lot of lower back problems. I think the health stuff is definitely taking a priority for 2026, at least the top of 2026. Take a dance class and yoga class 1 time a month. Didn't happen, but I will say I definitely took a couple fitness classes at one point, and I want to go back to that studio too and take more. I don't think I did it as consistently as I had wanted to, but the fact that I even went from 0 to anything is still progress, despite it not being consistent progress. This year, I once again wrote my goals in Notion, made a vision board, a bucket list bingo, as well as adding in some rewards punch cards. So this is my 2026 vision board for the year. And I feel like most of the things on my vision board are things that I have put on vision boards in the past, but also they're definitely bigger goals overall. It really goes to show how much I have really honed in or focused on certain few things or that there are certain things that I know I want to focus on. I figured I would explain the different pieces of my 2026 vision board. So my word for 2026 is push. This year, it's going to be more about like the process of pushing. And what does that mean? It's going to be pushing myself out of my comfort zone or pushing myself to post more or honestly just pushing myself, like shilling for myself. Of course, so I have my little photo here, just like working, coffees, cameras, etc. Just I want to work on my YouTube content stuff that's like separate from, I guess, my Twitch streams, or some of it might be a little more integrated. I am working on trying to figure out what my ideal like film posting schedule would be, or like how much I would like to put out and how would I do that. I think for me, a lot of it is honestly the struggle of doing a stream and like doing any like edits on it. So it's like it's cutting clips and then maybe like a stream cut down, like those type of things, which I know that's kind of like what you have to do, right? And that's how other people grow. You got to grow on other platforms. Yeah, and then I also want to do my own regular like vlogs or just, you know, my non-stream content too of just like life and whatnot. The same next steps I had for last year are the same next steps for this year, which is to get Twitch partner and to become monetized on YouTube, posting with like consistency and stuff. That's what this little calendar represents to me. Posting with like consistency and finding a good workflow. I feel like a lot of people treat January like, oh, that's when everyone just wants to be so motivated, but they're all gonna fall off, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I don't give a f***. Because I'd rather be motivated at least one damn month of the year than none, okay? I'd rather go to the gym every single day at least for one month than none. So when I'm a January 1st show up to the gym every day person, let me be, okay? That could be the only month I show up at the gym. I made a little makeshift BTS ticket here because I'm trying to go to as many stops of their tour as I can within reason. That like literally that's the one of the few things I have like been waiting for, like truly anticipating. So I will be going to as much as I can. Granted, I don't know how much that will be, but I will be doing my best to go to many stops and to get really good seats. I have this little graphic that says choose gratitude. In the last like 5 or so years, I really have expressed a lot more gratitude, or I've felt a lot more gratitude than I like ever have. And I don't know if that's just like growing up and being an adult or something. And then in my lower corner here, I have a little picture of a love over here, like a relationship. I don't know. I feel like I have really taken a back seat on like romantic relationships and stuff. And so I guess I put it on the board this year just because, you know what? Maybe I should try a little harder. Whether, I don't know if I'll meet the love of my life necessarily, but I think just maybe making more connections or just like being a little more open to it. And I feel like that also goes hand in hand with this little picture here, which is just like people hanging out. Basically, I would just like to make more friends. I would like to meet new people. I would like to maybe find maybe another closer like friend group. And then below that, I just have a coffee and a croissant here. Really just to represent that I would like to visit more cafes and stuff. I just kind of do like, I guess, small pleasures for myself. I think that also if when I'm traveling, I just want to be sure I get out and go to try new places. A cafe is just really easy because that's somewhere I can go to like journal, to read. I can work there, but also, you know, have a nice cup of coffee, hopefully a freshly baked pastry as well. Of course, I gotta have my words of affirmation here, manifest it, just things that I want to do. And also just another reminder that I'm exactly where I need to be. It's really easy to get caught up in thinking that I'm like behind on life because I'm, you know, in my 30s. I am not, you know, dating anyone, etc. I don't have my own house. I don't have any children, blah, 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 blah. I feel like my career is like barely a career. I don't know. I just have to remind myself that, you know what? Life happens the way it does. I don't need to think about like what could have, should have, would have happened, right? I'm worried about what's happening and what I can control. I know that, you know, I wouldn't have had all the great things that have happened to me, the things that I really am grateful for, that I'm proud of, that I hold really near and dear to my heart, if I wasn't exactly where I needed to be now. And then I have these fun little graphics of girls who look hot and look stylish. Because that's me. I want to look hot and stylish. And then these little stamps, they say Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Seoul. These to me represent travel next year. Again, I don't know what travel will really look like for me. This is all assuming that I will be in Japan. If that's the case, obviously I would already be in Japan and Tokyo. But I very much would plan to go to Korea because it's, you know, relatively close. And I wrote Hong Kong on there too because Hong Kong, like in that area, China, I believe is not too far away either from Japan. And then speaking of Japan stuff, that's why I have those torii gates here, and I have a little graphic of a girl studying her Japanese because that kind of represents me going to language school in Japan this year. But yeah, so that is a big goal of mine. I do feel very confident that's going to happen. Then I'll talk about my little girlies in black here, just singing and dancing, two things I've had on my vision boards for a few years now. But I just enjoy dancing. I'm just not very good at it. Same thing with singing. Enjoy it, just not very good at it. But I think it's more about like practicing more, going to more dance classes, or maybe for singing, taking some vocal lessons, maybe. I have money here because obviously we need to increase that income. We need to increase the income, but we also need to save the income and budget the income. I don't think I'll actually make more money this year in the sense of with me going to language school in Japan and stuff. I don't think mathematically I will make more money necessarily. I would definitely like to make money in more ways maybe. Obviously, we talked right back into content creation and stuff. And hopefully one of these days, I'll be able to have at least a side hustle form of income through content and stuff, maybe more. And then as we work our way down, I have this girl who looks very fit and very like, look at that core strength, etc. It's really just meant to represent like fitness. That's something I would like to hone in on this year. And then down in this corner, I just have a little graphic of books here because I would like to read more and also journal and write more. I know towards the end of the year, I really did enjoy reading again. Like I kind of got back into it and I would like to maintain that in 2026. I think I want to write more in my personal journal, but also just like maybe like poetry and stuff or just writing to write really. And then my last 2 pictures here is a little graphic that says be creative because, just need a reminder that, hey, I should do creative things. It doesn't need to be under the guise of like, oh, I'm good at this, but just because I want to. My last little photo here is just a tarot card deck. I do read tarot cards for myself. I guess just want to connect more with myself spiritually again. I think I've had different phases of my life when I have been a lot more spiritually connected. Whether or not you believe they're like purpose for divination, I think it's more about just like asking myself questions and kind of connecting parts of my life. If anything, it's just a mental and emotional exercise then. This is my 2026 Notion template. I put an image of my vision board right here too. Yeah, I thought it'd be nice to kind of go through some of my personal, creative, finance, and health goals this year. So our personal goals are here. Go to Japan as a language student in July, advancing Korean/Japanese, and get into acting and modeling with representation. My creative goals were to create a realistic and sustainable content workflow, and then to scrapbook and journal events in my life. I feel like I can fit another one in here. I just don't know. I guess I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. Like last year, I think it was like sewing more, which I did do, but it wasn't like, I didn't really hone in on it the way I thought I was going to. But that's okay. And then my finance ones are to use the financial tracker spreadsheet that I have like downloaded, and I also want to save up enough money to cover Japan rent, which is $25,000. But that's also within the 6 months. So that's a lot of money in a short amount of time. I'm trying to save more than that, to be honest, but like at least that much. And then I also wrote to get a sponsorship for something content creation stream related, which I do think is possible. I think that it's more of it's a me thing. Like I need to be proactive about it. And then for health, it was to work out, which means either go to the gym, go to a fitness class, or go to a dance class, etc., 3 times a week, which again shouldn't be that difficult. Like people do that. Apparently I'm not people, but people do that, and I'm going to become people this year. Then I also want to incorporate healthy meal prepping into my routine. I didn't give a real indicator of like timing, when, how often, etc., just because I'm not sure yet. Ideally it'd be every week, but I don't think realistically we're going to be able to get going every single week ASAP, Then I want to stretch more and to work on flexibility and to hopefully get that toe touch happening. For that part, it's just the really consistency that's always tripping me up. Like I just need to do my thing. I need to stretch every single day, and I need to work on getting my hips and my back like over as far as I can, between my hips, my back, and my shoulder. So then the way I do it with all the goals I have in my 4 categories, I have broken down like reflections and plans into each quarter. So basically, quarter 1, I'm trying to figure out how I achieve those goals. So last year I tried at the end of each month to do a reflection. So in this like quarter 1 section, I'd have a reflection for January, February, and March to reflect on, did I do those things? Where did I go wrong? Where did I do well, etc. I didn't keep up with it the entire time in 2025, but on the months that I did, it's really nice to go back and like look back and be like, oh yeah, okay. The fact that I even took the time to reflect, to, analyze my own actions or my own like thoughts or kind of like, my own process is really helpful in, tweaking it for the next month, for the next quarter, etc. So one thing I really like about having my vision boards and my trackers and my bullet journals and my Notion template, it's not about like, oh, I'm going to keep up with this the entire year. It's about figuring out what works for me in the best ways and the best times throughout the year. My Notion template and vision board have become staples in my annual New Year's reset. But last year I incorporated a bucket list bingo card, which I really enjoyed. I don't think I kept up with it very much throughout the year after like the first quarter, but I did really enjoy going over at the end of the year to look back and kind of rethink my year to see whether or not I had done those things. So I'm definitely bringing it back this year. And who knows, maybe I'll get 2 bingos this year. Fingers crossed. Well, guys, what else do I want to do? This is what's hard. I'm like, this might be something I have to revisit. Like, what else do I want to do? I don't know how to explain that other than like, yeah, it'd be something like ceramics or like a cake decorating class or like something like that. Do a 30-day challenge. What will that challenge be? I don't know, but I'd like to do something, right? That'd be kind of fun. I'll write D&D one shot because that'd be kind of cool. Again, granted, I don't know if that'll happen. I played before and I did enjoy it, but I just don't have anyone really, I don't have a group of friends to like regularly play with or anything, but also I can't commit. Like, so I'm not trying to do a campaign that's going to be like 8 years long. So what we should do, I think, is that we should put the most likely ones in the corners because they hit a lot of like options. So Run 5K is not going to go up there. I think we should finish a new book series in one of the corners so it can help us get more. I think I want to do, I feel confident that I can do that one. Make streaming friends. I want to keep that there as just like maybe more motivation to do something. Finish a new book series. Maybe I'll do a photo shoot here. Again, I feel confident it's going to happen, but if not, I think that's something I would want to do overseas too. So I think it's going to happen this month, but if it doesn't, I think I would probably want to do one in Japan or Korea or something. Post a dance/song cover. Do a 30-day challenge. Let's do a 30-day challenge. I don't know what the 30-day challenge would be. I woke up at 4 a.m. for 30 days. Okay, this is it for 2026. The last thing I want to do is I want to make a couple of punch cards. It's been kind of this like trend, I guess, on like TikTok and stuff for the past. I think I've seen a lot of it recently, but I think it's like been around for a while, to be honest. I feel like 5 is a good amount. Some of the TikToks I've seen, they have so many, and I feel like it's just like too many. Or my punch cards, I didn't really want to use them as like trackers necessarily, but rather like, okay, if I do these things, I get something else. Like the way like a rewards card is used. So my 5 punch cards are making coffee at home to receive a fun drink, doing 10 no-sped weeks to get some kind of tech upgrade, 10 weeks of going to the gym 3 times each for a new workout outfit, reading 12 books in order to receive a Kindle, and taking myself out on 10 solo dates for a currently unknown reward. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I'll be honest, I don't really know what's in store for 2026. I have high hopes for the things that I know I'm working toward, but I feel like I can only see until, I don't know, July, just because by that point, I will be in Japan, and what my priorities and goals and, what will realistically be my life at that point is unknown. And I kind of like that. Either way, I'll still be here, sharing little slices of my life, no matter what it looks like. Thank you so much for watching. If you like videos like this, please be sure to like and subscribe. And if you ever want to catch me live, I stream about 2 to 3 times a week at twitch.tv/Nilanda_XO, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!